Hello there. This is Ted Lacksonen, the country thinker, bringing you episode 5 of The Eagle Has Crashed, June of 2029. In our last episode, we checked in on Benny Johansson and saw how the OAR bankruptcy was proceeding. We also met small business owners Nate and Cassie North, ornery old Herm Stanbaugh, and also found out about some shenanigans going on in Washington, D.C. In this episode, we're going to check in on Nate and Cassie North again, as well as Kevin and Lucy Davis, and we're going to get to know Benny Johansson's husband, Dylan Johansson, and see exactly what it is he's up to these days. So let's go ahead and get right to the story. Episode 5 of The Eagle Has Crashed, June 2029. Nate North walked through the door of the foreman's office and into the North Fab production area, which was blanketed by the stifling heat and humidity of central Ohio in June. His 40 employees were gathered in a pack, waiting. North climbed up a wooden stepladder in front of the window that looked back into the offices. "So I understand you folks decided to join the union." Many of the workers nodded their heads, and Nate pulled a blue bandana from his pocket and mopped his forehead. Joe Flanagan and his damn union may have won the battle, but Nate was going to win the war. "I really don't understand why you would want to do that," North said. "I mean, come on. I take care of you guys. I pay you a good wage. You got good bennies." "The pay sucks," a voice blurted out from the back. North scowled. "Then go find someone who pays better." "The benefits suck too," another worker shouted. Nate rubbed his chubby face with both hands. "Do you have any idea how tough it is out there? The competition is fierce. If I pay you guys more money, I won't be able to compete." "That's bullshit, Nate," another worker barked. "I've seen your house." Nate scowled. "Get serious, Ryan. I live in Gahanna, not Upper Arlington. I'm doing okay, but I ain't rich." "We need more money, Nate," Ryan replied. "Well, I can't afford more money, and I can't afford a damn union." He scanned the North Fab worker's eyes. "So what's your call?" "We already told you, Nate, we're joining the UMF," Ryan said. North ran his hands across his slicked hair. "Fine, I'm giving all of you a $3 an hour pay cut effective immediately." An older, heavy-set worker with a patch that said Bob stepped forward. "Screw you, Nate. We're going on strike." North laughed. "Any of you who goes on strike is fired. Now get the hell out of here unless you want to stay and work. Without the union, of course." The workers responded with hand gestures and profanity, then turned to retrieve their personal tools and other belongings from their work areas. North placed his thumb and his middle finger in his mouth and whistled loudly. "No, no, no!" He motioned vigorously toward a roll-up delivery door to his left. "Out! Now! Come back tomorrow to get your stuff." Just then, a dozen uniformed security guards entered through the delivery door. "You guys didn't really think you'd catch old Nate off guard, did you? I had a bad feeling you were going to turn on me. I won't have any of you riffraff trashing my equipment as you leave." Nate climbed down the ladder. "Have a good one, and we'll see you tomorrow morning when you come back to get your stuff." He waggled his finger. "And think about it overnight. Any of you who want your jobs back can have them with things just as they are." The workers were caught off guard by the appearance of the security guards, and they pushed and cursed as they filed out through the delivery door. "That'll teach him to mess with old Nate North," he said with a jowly grin. Kevin Davis stood in front of the downtown Columbus unemployment office where Lucy worked, but he wasn't there to see his wife. The metal worker's last 30 days at his job were up, and he was officially laid off. Kevin held a stack of papers, copies of job applications he had filled out. None were in response to help wanted ads, which had vanished. Kevin had pestered dozens of secretaries for applications for non-existent openings. Everyone knew the game. People who lost their job had to show their unemployment counselor that they were looking for work to start the flow of checks, and Kevin had done just that. More than 100 laid-off workers were crammed together outside the office waiting to get in. Everyone was hot and sweaty, and the muggy morning smelled like rain. More than rain, really. There was an anxiety over so many workers losing their jobs so suddenly and unexpectedly. Two men in front of Kevin were talking. "I talked to my counselor on the phone this morning, and she said she's got an opening for a forklift operator. Said the company's doing interviews right now, and she thought it would get filled pretty fast, so I hauled ass to get down here. A third man overheard and began to discreetly squeeze his way around the speaker, who turned and frowned. What the hell do you think you're doing? The speaker snapped. This isn't good, Kevin thought. He had been in enough bar brawls to develop a keen sense of smell for trouble. The aroma here was pungent, and Kevin backed away. The sneaker pleaded innocent. The speaker ordered him to get back behind him. The sneaker refused. The speaker pushed. Kevin tried to escape, but the escalating conflict was drawing the unemployed workers like moths to a light. He was trapped, and the wall of bodies pushed him into the conflict. The speaker threw the first punch, which glanced off the sneaker's cheekbone. The sneaker got a shove from behind, and the speaker kneed him in the mouth as he fell down, knocking out several teeth and sending blood splattering to the concrete. Shit, this is going to get really ugly, Kevin thought as his palms began to sweat and his heart rate skyrocketed. The crowd was packing tighter, and every nudge was taken as an attack. Kevin saw one woman kick another, and a second poked someone in the eye as she had learned in self-defense class. Kevin got punched in the back of the head and took an elbow to the kidney. He covered up his head to protect himself. You get into another fight, Kevin Davis, and you're out of here. That's what Lucy had said last year when she cleaned glass out of a cut over his eye from a beer bottle a drunk had used like a club. He continued to try and back out of the melee, but couldn't. It was like he was surrounded by wildfire. He got knocked to the concrete and immediately curled up like a potato bug. Someone stomped on his ribs. A second stomp. When a man fell over and landed on Kevin's head with an elbow, everything went black. Kevin's head throbbed terribly as he sat in the Davis' kitchen. The ibuprofen couldn't touch the pain, and neither could the bag of ice. He had a sprained ankle, bruised ribs, and 42 stitches that snugly sealed 3 different cuts. But none of the wounds cut as deeply as the stare Lucy was giving him. She had her arms crossed, and her expression was worthy of a CIA interrogator. Tell me again how you got messed up like that? He knew what this was about. She's making me tell it all over because she knows I won't keep my story straight if I'm lying. Please, Lucy, don't throw me out of the house. I got caught in the middle, I swear, he pleaded. His palms began sweating again, even though he knew he was telling the truth. How did it get started? Some dude was trying to push his way to the front of the line to try and get an interview for a forklift job. Another dude didn't like it, so he jacked him. Then people started pushing and shoving, and things got out of hand real fast. And you didn't take any part in it? No, honest, Luce. I tried to get out of there, but everything got packed real tight as soon as the shoving started. It's like everyone was itching for a fight, except for me. Lucy sighed and studied his eyes. There was one part of your story that don't add up. Shit, he thought. She thinks I made something up, but I'm really telling the truth. What don't add up? He asked. There wasn't any forklift job. He threw his arms out to the side. I'm just telling you what I heard, Luce. Look at me, she ordered with a scowl. Kevin looked into her eyes as deeply as he could. He tried to send a message through his gaze. I'm innocent this time, honey, really, truly. Lucy's shoulders dropped slightly, and her stern expression melted away. Kevin had passed the test. She smiled. "Aw, sweetie, I see now you're telling the truth." She walked over and gave him a gentle kiss on the cheek. Kevin looked up with the hazel puppy dog eyes that he had snared her heart with when she was 17. I'm trying to do right by you and the kids, Luce. I've done some dumb things, but this ain't one of those times. She stroked his cheek with the back of her hand. I believe you, sweetie. Really.